Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations. In today's video, we're going to be diving back into some Cookie Run Kingdom, but specifically taking a look at the October 2021 tier list for landmarks and which ones you should absolutely be building. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen. So as always, when it comes to tier list videos, just know that they are purely subjective. At the end of the day, you might not agree with everything on this list, and that is a-okay. Instead, what I invite you guys to do is drop a comment down below. Let me know what you feel should be changed and why you think it should be changed. With that being said, guys, starting us off here, we've got SS all the way down to C tier. I'm not going to break it down any further past C because just know that anything that I place in B or C should be your last resort option when it comes to picking up landmarks. And instead, you should be focusing on S, S, and A tier first before you ever dive into B or C, in my opinion. So now officially starting us off here on SS tier, we've got 3 different landmarks for you. The first one up is going to be the TikTok Clock Tower. This one is an absolute must by any player in the game, ideally as early as possible. It's going to cost you only some gold, no crystals, and not only that, it's going to reduce the production time it takes your buildings to produce items, which again is very, very good, allowing you pretty much just to craft items in a shorter amount of time, which you can't argue with that one. The second one up we've got, and that's going to be the Jelly Lion statue. Once again, a very, very good one, especially early game. If you are not going to be there at episode 6 to grind out those epic toppings to give you that little bit of additional attack power that you need, then this one is going to provide attack power for your entire team. And not only that, as you continue to level it up, it will continue to only boost your attack power even more. Next one up we've got here, and that's going to be the Dark Lord's Tower. I see this question asked a ton, and that is going to be, is it worth the 5,000 crystals? And even in my opinion, even as a free-to-play player in this game, where you're really trying to maximize your crystals and all of your resources, I think it's still absolutely worth the 5,000 crystals. It should be one that you pick up as soon as you possibly can because it's going to provide a damage resistance buff across your entire team and cookies, which again, if you don't know, damage resistance is going to be far better than HP percentage or defense percentage for the most part. So again, very, very good one here to pick up. It's just going to add to your overall survivability. Now officially diving in here to S rank, that's going to house 2 different landmarks. The first one up is going to be the Ominous Cake Tower. Although it does provide HP percentage just like the Flower Garden, it actually scales higher at higher levels to produce, I think, almost 20% HP bonus compared to the standard Flower Garden, which I believe caps out at either 10 or 15%. So it's going to be giving you basically more HP percent. And not only that, it is going to be able to be purchased with cake pieces that you will get from farming the overall Chaos Tower. So if you haven't been farming a Chaos Tower by now, you absolutely should be, because once you get those cake pieces, you can buy this one, and it's only going to take cake pieces and some gold to actually level it up. Again, very, very easy to achieve, and it's going to give you a better percent status than the Flower Garden. The second one up we've got here is going to be the Haunted Mansion. This one's going to be providing your entire team a crit percent chance, meaning the ability for them to pop off more critical hits than standard hits, which again is very, very nice. Not only that, with the brand new Cookie Twizzly Gummy, this one's going to go hand in hand, and you're absolutely going to want to max this bad boy out as soon as possible if you are trying to maximize the damage on Twizzly Gummy. Now officially diving in here to tier A, and that's going to house again 2 more landmarks, and that's going to complete the landmarks for the overall stat percentages. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys, and that's going to be the best landmarks to invest in overall, in my opinion, are going to be those from SS down to A tier on my tier list, because they focus in on giving you guys that percentage buffing some sort of stat, and that's going to be far more superior in my opinion before ever diving into a landmark from B tier or C tier. All right, so just keep that in mind. Now officially diving in here and taking a look at A tier, we're going to house 2 landmarks as I mentioned before. We've got the Flower Garden providing additionally HP percentage just like the Ominous Cake Tower, but just know it's not going to scale as high as the Ominous Cake Tower, so the percentage it's providing is going to be less. The second one up we got, and that's going to be the Snow Globe, providing defense percentage. In my opinion, defense percentage is going to be low man on the totem pole when it comes to overall stats to focus on, because damage resistance really takes that #1 spot. So now officially diving in here to B tier, that's going to house a handful of different landmarks. The first 2 we've got, and that's going to be the Ferris Wheel and the Gumball Machine. Both of these, in my opinion, can absolutely be beneficial to you because they have the ability to produce an epic soulstone every 24 hours. But Keep in mind, they do cost a whopping 5,000 crystals apiece, so for a grand total of 10,000, and not only that, it's pure RNG. At the end of the day, you could go days without getting an epic soul stone, and that's going to be why I don't think they are worth your early game investment. I think they're going to be a mid game or a late game when you got a stockpile of crystals and you're just looking to add to your overall value. I think these are definitely worth picking up at that point, but early game, I would definitely skip out on them. The next one that we got here, and that's going to be the Desert Tower. Now, the Desert Tower, in my opinion, can have some sort of value, but definitely not early game and not for the general population that are playing Cookie Run Kingdom, in my opinion, because all it's going to do is reduce the amount of time it takes to regenerate stamina jellies. At the end of the day, this seems like it could be very, very nice, but the amount that it reduces is going to be very, very slim, and for most players diving into the game, they're just spending the stamina that is required for their dailies, putting it back in their pocket, making sure everything is loaded up in all of their production buildings, and then coming back periodically after so many hours. And this one isn't reducing the amount of time it takes to produce stamina jellies to be affected by the overall, inactive by most players. The second one up here is going to kind of go hand in hand with that, and that's going to be the one I believe that was dropped via the Tropical Raid system, or it could be when Mango was released, I can't remember, but it's only going to be providing stamina jellies for you every 24 hours. I don't think that it's going to be a game changer. Once again, I think most players in the game are just logging on to play their dailies, grind out a little bit, and then they're going to be putting the phone back in their pocket and just waiting X amount of hours, whether that's going to be for work or school. It doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, I think that's how most players are playing Cookie Run Kingdom. So because of that, it's going to be placed here on B tier. I don't think it should be something to invest in early game. Maybe once you start getting into the higher tiers in dark mode and you're consuming a ton of stamina to complete your overall dailies and all that stuff, then maybe that would be something to pick up at that point. The next one up that we've got, and that's going to be the guild one. This one is going to be just generating a tiny, and I mean a tiny amount of guild experience. It's not going to be anything close to the guild gacha. I think you get a ton more experience from the guild gacha, and because of that, it's going to be something that's going to be placed on B tier. Not going to be a very good investment, especially early game for most players. Next up we've got here, and that's going to house the two landmarks that drop with both of the ancient cookies. We've got the pure vanilla one, and we've got the raspberry one. Both of these, in my opinion, are going to be worth the investment, but not until mid-game or late game, and that's going to be because they only have the ability to produce one Aurora piece every 24 hours, maybe one extra one in 24 hours once you fully max them out. But in my opinion, I don't think that they add a ton of value. I mean, you can get a ton of Aurora pieces from your trains, your Tree of Wishes. The guild gacha system gives you a ton of Aurora pieces. And last but not least, if you're getting an abundance of one Aurora piece, you can easily swap them out for the equal value in something like the overall trading port. So I think that's just going to be really what sets these guys apart and places them down at B tier for me. Definitely something to pick up mid-game because it does add to your overall stockpile of Aurora pieces, but I don't think it's going to be a game changer or a game breaker for most players. Now, officially diving in here to C rank, that's going to house 3 different landmarks here. These 3 are going to be landmarks that I think have some sort of ability or usefulness, but not going to be something that I would invest in first off, and definitely would pick up more of them on B tier before I would ever dive into C because they just don't provide a whole ton of value. The first one up is going to be obviously the Zeppelin. It's going to be reducing the amount of time it takes your balloon expeditions to come back. Although it sounds very nice, once again, this is kind of going back to how players play this game. Most people are trying to get the most bang for their buck, and that comes for the most bang for their stamina. And that's going to be when you're running balloon expeditions, most people are doing the highest balloon expedition that they can. It's going to take the longest, or at least they're going to be doing the one that matches their away time from playing the game. So if you're going to school for 8 hours a day, you're going to be running whatever one at least is 8 hours, so that way when you come back, you're going to get the most resources for your stamina usage. Because of that, it's not going to benefit you if the balloon comes back 30 minutes sooner or not of that 8 hours, because when you come back to the game, it's going to be ready no matter what. Not going to be very useful. Same thing goes with the overall train one. This is the molting one. I can't remember what this one is called, but this one's going to be reducing the amount of time it takes for your trains to come back. Same principle applies here as the Zeppelin. At the end of the day, most people aren't worried about it, and I know people that have got this one completely maxed out and still have 7 hours or 4-hour long trains even with this one. So I don't think it's going to be worth the investment. The last one but not least here we've got, that's going to be the one that's going to be providing more coins per battles, and I don't think this one's going to be worth the investment because we all know that the best way to grind out coins in this game is not going to be via the battle system. Instead, it's going to be through the Tree of Wishes. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to conclude today's tier list video for landmarks of October 2021. As always, guys, let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are. Keep in mind, you guys should be focused in on those percent-based landmarks before ever diving into B and C tier, because although I know something like the Ferris wheel and gumball is very tempting. It is going to cost you a hefty 5,000 crystals per one, and it is pure RNG. You could go days without getting an epic soul stone. As always, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know exactly when we drop a video and when we go live here on the channel, which is typically Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Don't forget to join the Discord. The link's provided down below in the description. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.